Let's fight! A very good evening to each and every one of you folks. Let's fight, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button wherever you're joining us from. Vernon, good to have you here. Siobhan and Cheryl, good to have each and every one of you here with us on the live tonight. Share, share the live and smash that emoji button, folks. Wherever you're rocking and coming from, folks, we are happy to have you folks with us. We have a few minutes with you folks. We know some of you guys got one eye on us and one eye on the Democratic National Convention happening in Chicago as we speak. And we don't want to keep you guys from it a minute longer than we have to. So let's touch on a couple of things and then we get out of your hair so you can go on and have a fantastic rest of the evening. Good to see so many of you already joining us tonight. Share the live for us, folks. Why don't you and smash that emoji button? Our fingers are crossed. Fingers are crossed. It all goes well at our end, folks. Share, share, share. Enid, Marlin, good to have you there on the live. German, good to see you too. And Deborah, good to see you. Mark and Jacqueline, Yonet, Etor, good to have you there as well. And all those other folks who are joining us tonight. A simply privileged and pleased to have all of you on the live. You know, we said we on the live, folks. Happy to have each and every one of you on the live from the many places you're joining us from. Enid, I see you there. Claire Capel, I see you as well. Claire, I see you as well. Let me ring the bell one more time for each and every. Ring it how much every time we want for our favorite folks. Ring it one more time. Good to have all of you on the live with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, it's been a long Thursday. It's been a long Thursday. We all know your boy Jack, you're right out. Pack of nonsense, pack of foolishness. But before we come to him, you know, a couple of weeks ago, as we start tonight, a couple of weeks ago, Vikram Barnes said something very interesting. Very interesting. And so the opener tonight has two parts. We can take Vikram, then we can take a response to Vikram. He talked about what's happening there in the oil and gas sector. First press conference for the year, they call it a mid-year press conference. Yeah. The only press conference they've had for the year. Such an important ministry like that of natural resource. And the dilly-dallying and shilly-shallying over on that side. How long are we going to take it? That's why next year we're going to go out there, Helen and Myrna. We're going to vote them out, Lucille and Enid, Patricia and Marla, and all you other wonderful folks. Yeah, we're going to go out there and we're going to vote them out. So the opener, folks, let's start with what Vikram said about the sector, right? Let's take a look and take a listen. He said it was well managed. It was being managed properly. And then he proffered some reasons why in his impression, the natural resource sector, the oil sector, the petroleum sector was being managed correctly. Karen, Ingrid, Erwin, take a look, take a listen.
I want to say from the inception, and some people may not agree, but when you look at it from a neutral point of view, we would say that Guyana's oil and gas sector is one of the better managed oil and gas sector in the world. I will go to say in the world. We have one of the better oil and gas sector, or is managed better than many other countries around the world. And why do I say that? One, transparency and accountability. Now, we did a quick check. We did a quick check to see how many oil producing countries in the world will have the vice president of the country, who is the lead policy maker in the oil and gas sector, speak on the sector every single week in a year. If he's not available on a Thursday, he do it on a Wednesday. If Thursday is a holiday, we'll do it on a Friday. But every single week, we have the chief policy maker in our country, our vice president, Dr. Barrett Jagdew, speak on the sector and give the opportunity to the media and anyone else to ask questions on the sector.
Yeah. Welcome back, folks. You all heard that? If that wasn't so serious, that would be funny. The vice president, who has no qualifications, in oil and gas. He's the chief policy maker. Small wonder you have so much corruption in the sector, because that's all they know. He's the chief policy maker. Folks, you all heard that? You hear it, you heard it. Gloria Chester. And that's transparency. None of the minister with responsibility for the sector by portfolio. No. He gives press conference every week. No. The vice president usurping his role. And he said, that's transparency and accountability for you. Right? Mind you, every week when the vice president is asked, he said, go and ask Vikram. Right? At least he got a part right. He's answered the question. He said, go and ask Vikram. Sir, what are your thoughts on ask Vikram? And then when he run over by Vikram, he's not available. He is not available. Mr. Norton was asked for his response. This is leader of the opposition, Mr. Aubrey Norton, was asked for his response quite recently to that very statement that we're, one of the better, is the best managed sector in the world, oil and gas, right? Best managed in the world. Well, look. don't let me tell you. Don't let me tell you. Take a look, take a listen. The opener, folks. Mr. Aubrey Norton, leader of the opposition, leader of the People's National Congress Reform.
Opposition leader Aubrey Norton has described this garbage, the claim by Minister Vikram Bharat that Guyana has the best managed oil economy in the world.
If you have the best managed oil sector and you don't have the capacity to do proper audits, you haven't even put the mechanisms in place. You have the question of being able to monitor how much Exxon exports, etc. None of those things are in place. You don't have an independent petroleum commission that brings expert knowledge to the decision making.
Norton was answering a question at the recent press conference. He said that instead of having the best managed oil economy, there is Parrot Jagyo who lives in a fairy tale world. He said that the reality is that Jagyo makes pronouncements, retract them, and then come out with another set of pronouncements.
The absence of a clear policy direction for oil and gas, the fact that there was no feasibility study for the Wales project, all of those are indicative of the fact that the sector is improperly managed.
There was the issue of the audit that saw the initial figures arbitrarily reduced.
Here is the minister saying it is the technicians. How is it that you are managing this sector and a few technicians can make decisions that are significant and impacting on the Guyanese people, and you don't know, and then fighting to sanction them? That is a clear indication that you have mismanaged the sector.
Norton also questioned the absence of information on the exact number of discoveries.
And even with the local content element of it, there are problems to be resolved that the government is not paying any attention to. So I won't worry with Barrett. He was probably affected by them allegedly holding him in the United States.
Yeah. Holding him in the United States. Oh, my Lord. That's another story all by itself. That is another story all by itself, folks. That's part of the opener. Holding him in the United States. In that very press conference, he said if they appoint the Petroleum Commission, yet to be appointed, as you heard Mr. Norton say, to bring the expert guidance, expert supervision, bring expertise to bear on the sector. How much better might we not be? But no. Chief policy maker, Jagyo, he got it. He got things locked. So we don't need Petroleum Commission. Vikram said, come out of that same press conference, comments attributed to him, that establishing the Petroleum Commission, brothers and sisters, would slow down the sector. Want to improve it, it would negatively impact the sector. It would slow down the sector. That's what Vikram said. Minister of Natural Resources, you understand why you don't get press conferences every week? Because if you're going to say foolishness like that, then you got to hold your back. You can check at the back. But you heard Mr. Norton say about that escortation at the JFK International Airport, John Fitzgerald Kennedy International Airport. Vikram Bharat, the Minister of Natural Resources, also addressed that during the course of that press conference he had last week. That he called it mid-year, the mid-year press conference. Mid-year. Take a look, take a listen. Somebody said on that note of whether or not he was detained at the John Fitzgerald Kennedy International Airport.
With regards to the gold smuggling issue and the New York issue and the visa, well, Dennis, hope you don't have any other information that I don't have. But as it is, yeah. As it is, no, sorry, it's not. I still have my visa. I'm the holder, as you know, of a diplomatic passport. And to answer Marcel's question, Dennis, maybe you can help me because you're the first person who reached out to me to ask if I was detained or if I was interrogated. I think that was ventilated. You did a good job. I must commend you, Dennis, for carrying the story. I even refer your story to many other media houses because it was accurately carried. There was no detention or interrogation. It was simply courtesy, as I mentioned before, being extended. We had conversation. Obviously, if we were walking through, we had conversation. The conversation, as I mentioned before, was on Guyana's development and what is happening. I'm the Minister of Natural Resources. So obviously, questions were asked of the development within the natural resources sector. One, oil and gas, and two, yes, gold. Not anything specific to do with the Mohammed's issue, but generally, because it was out in the media that there was a sanction and Guyana is being looked at as a place where there's gold smuggling. So that was the scenario. I hope, Dennis, that I know and I hope that my visa and my diplomatic passport is still valid. So I don't think that's a problem. And in fact, I was expedited in such a fast way, Marcel. I got out before my brother-in-law could have arrived at the airport to receive me. So there was no detention. I know it's sometimes you look for a headline, but it's not true. In fact, the U.S. ambassador made a statement, and I think that would have clarified the issue totally. The U.S. Embassy in Guyana made that. With regards to the gold smuggling issue and the
Apologies there. It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting some of what the minister said. Because the more you listen to Vikram on this issue, and you understand why they keep it back, they don't allow him to, hold the mic too often, it's the more elements keep being added to it. Because initially, he said all they talked about was development. But in this press conference, he said they talked about gold as well. Nothing specific to the Mohammeds, but I just wanted to know how the gold sector went. Remember, we're on the radar for gold smuggling. That is the sanctions that were leveled against, that's what the sanctions leveled against the Mohammeds, contended that they had smuggled 50 million US dollars in gold uncustomed and whatever, and May Toussaint, part and parcel of that package too. The same way May was going through, and they said it was a routine check and border patrol and the FDA and ICE and all a whole nothing strange. Jab, you had said this song like May all over again. Now you hear the gold piece added here now. He said we spoke about development, nothing specific to the Mohammeds. To just ask about gold in general, it's kind of weird. He said he wasn't escorted, probably attaching some negative connotations to that. He said they were treating me to some coaches seats, walking behind me in the airport, and asking me about the gold sector in the country. Still got my passport. I still got it. For how long? That's the question. For how long? So we watching that little bit there, that little thing there, that little piece there. And again, I say, folks, it's the same way they came out and said, May, all is well with May. It's a routine check. They didn't know who she watched this, random search, randomly escort her, randomly revoked her visa. Same people, same puppy show, and May had to now continue her journey to China where she was going with a lot of US dollars in her, and then come back through the UK Them boys quite like church mouse. It's the exact same thing you're seeing here. Everything is all right. Nobody think. No. Routine. Common courtesy. Common courtesy. When we're watching it. We are watching it, folks. Let's pick up some of what we're covering, folks. Around the world. Then we're coming back. We're gonna coming back. A whole stream. We're gonna coming back, folks. We're gonna coming back to the 5 news. Good to have each and every one of you joining us this evening. And Sheena and Les and Sparkle, Janet and Dion and Yvette. We big, Vikram. Vikram, we big and we got sense. The Chinese wants us to know that they've launched a new satellite. You know, I say kudos here, because you got to creep sometimes, but sometimes you got to get up and walk. And the simple prowess of the Chinese, right? I know sometimes they got a little espionage and little sabotage and, all kinds of things mixed in there, right? But to see them launching their own satellites and becoming, Chinese technology coming to come. Y'all don't come around the Chinese brothers and sisters funny. Y'all not got my brother. I tell you, I had the whole story. My great grandfather and this and that, and grandmother was a hot girl and so on. The whole thing. But to see them become some of the technology, y'all watch, is it Huawei? I had a Huawei tablet. My comes in at the thing for look and break. It wasn't their fault. But when I looked at it, the thing had some fantastic features, but rival the iPad. I think that's what they're aiming to do. So I want to give it to the Chinese. So this satellite here, good folks, will provide voice, data, radio, and television transmission services. Yep. This is where we gotta go, You're independent on nobody. That's where you bring down the prices, Right? Competition. You start producing for yourself. We consume everything. We don't produce nothing. We don't produce nothing. Look how many billions we given to sugar. We're not even producing sugar. Coming to that just now. Not even producing any damn sugar. And that's supposed to be core to who we are, who we is, who we be. Billions. We'd have poured us 60, 70 billion into satellite. We probably did fare better. Probably did faring better. Look, alas, here we are. Chinese launching satellites, and we still trying to clean little black sugar. Still trying to clean that. Kudos to our Chinese brothers and sisters. Yep. Pushing on, folks. Look what else has been coming from around the region, good folks. Look what has been covering here. This thing has to do with Maduro. Yeah, correct is right. Maduro has to go. That's what the Americans are saying. Right? That is what the Americans are saying. The Americans watching Ralph. You all remember Ralph came out very early and said the thing was free and fair. I wonder how we feel now. The odd man out. Even Rowley, who got in Little Island, so on a sweet deal, Dragon's Field and all that from the Venezuela, haven't picked it yet. Right? Even as chummy as Mia has become with the Venezuelan, she ain't said nothing yet. I didn't say anything attributed to her. If you have seen it, do let us know. Do let me know. I haven't seen anything. Ralph run out. Because that's the man he is. Look, before too long, I think we already know who he is. But circumstances like this is show you the real people be. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that the American ambassador to Guyana was saying quite recently, she was very thankful that we had joined up. We didn't follow Ralph. We know when to follow Ralph and think of our own self-interest. You see, we own self-interest. On the border story, make we talk up, I know Ontario, the Honorable U.S. Ambassador again. She understands that. It's on the border story, make we run out here and saying, yes, let there be credible elections. Then Maduro stepped down because Maduro toughened that issue there. We got to do what we have to do as well. But outside of that, what was striking to us is when the ambassador said she was quite surprised that more countries in the region did not sign on to this. She expressed disappointment, according to one of the reports we had, that other countries in the region did not sign on. With the exception, listen to this, with the exception of Guyana and Suriname, The remaining members of the CARICOM community were notably absent from the statement. What story is this? The boys been taking with business. You see? But they don't need to sign on to the Americans because they cash it in here. They find a paku and they busting it back down every day. That's why they need to sign on there. You see what happening? They're the same people who was for the will of the people and the valid votes, and no, you can't take away that. It is so brazen what Maduro is doing. I am quite surprised that Mia run out. How personal she has become. I am quite surprised Sarah Lynch in venturing into this, even though she has around the world. I'm quite surprised. Guyana and Suriname alone. Folks, y'all hearing that? You all believe that? Huh? That's what the American ambassador, the Honorable Nicole Cherry, has said. Ingrid King, Rhonda McDonald. That is what the lady said. She's surprised. Deborah Clark, Leslie said, blam, pace and power. Karen Archibald, Guyana and Suriname alone to CARICOM countries. We didn't expect Ralph for sign on. We didn't expect Ralph for sign on. Sometimes our people say, no, it's what they didn't say. It's where they didn't put the pen spurringly. Yep. By their works you shall know them. Guidance or not alone. Yep. Countries are becoming more and more autocratic as they see, like under the tenure of Trump, how democracy started waning and they're testing the waters. Democracy? Why we need democracy? Them boys right here got that kind of outlook. Why do we even need a democracy? What's a democracy? Huh? You see how they're operating? You wouldn't think they have a one-seat majority in the National Assembly. How they operating with the autocratic, authoritarian selves. That's how they operating. Yep, we're following that, folks. That's what we're following across the pond, our neighbors to the west. That's what's happening there. Teresa, she's surprised. More surprises coming, Madam Ambassador. But I know you got some up your sleeve yourself. More surprises coming. You all know once we come here, what is the order? Folks, there's never a dull moment in this country. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love putting the action there. You know, when it's rest time, yes, I like my peace and quiet. But give me the little action. Give me the little action, folks. And there's never shortage of it here. Never a dull moment in this country. Never a dull moment. And so we're watching it. We're watching it going south. Big head run out today. Big hand run out. What in this country? The people in Sophia wants to know. Is it D-Field? B-Field? B-Field! South Sophia. Is it a fella got a little construction site? Coming in with all the tonnage and the trucks, blocking up the road. And the residents say when they accosted him, he said the place under development. See, all them worried her. So you could drive your trucks, break up the road. There's no accountability, none whatsoever. Huh? That's how we live it. Take a look. That's what the truck doing, you know. Mashing up the road. Mashing it up. All that. Hold on, you can see just now. Ghana's not a real place, you know. It's place. Mashing it up. But you know what I say in this country? It's not who you know, it's who know you. Hmm? It's who know you. It's who making the bag. You think it's Batty? I think doing that? No. No, who got money got bargain in this country.
Copy road move.
The folks have informed us, sorry about that is Beefield, South Sophia. Beefield, South Sophia. I know lots of you asking if that's a road. That's a road, Trevor. McGarrel, that's a road. Two lane. Two lane. Abira, two lane. The folks in South Sophia wants to know if they got law or not in this country. They said they prevail upon the driver to no avail. The prevailment to no avail, man. Said development happening in this neighborhood, man. Y'all worry about that. Don't worry about that. Let me go along the road. I tell you, once you come into 592, right? Few things to think about. Few things like this. Want to say respect and manners. So one of our sport athletes extraordinaire. Sport athletes extraordinaire. I'm talking here about Nicolette Finance, who recently won the Women's 40 Plus category, the World Squash Federation Masters. This young lady's been playing for a long time. Literally saw Nicolette grew before her eyes. What a fantastic athlete she has become. Still pressing on. Still pressing on. And what I like about Nicolette, you never hear too much a scandal. Young people get giddy with little fame and so on. She has kept her composure and kept discipline. That's his stuff. Legends are made of. That's the stuff legends are made of. As a result of that, I want to say respect and manners. She keeps keeping on. I think there was some talk the other day that she wanted to retire. But see, when you got to find your bones, they can't hold you. Ring the bell one time for Nicolette. Gotta find your bones. Folks, don't give up. I had to look at that thing good. 40 plus category. Nicolette, 40 plus. When did that happen? Congrats to Nicolette Finance on that accomplishment. The World Squash Federation Masters. Yep. We're coming to come, folks. We're coming to come. Look at some of the other things we're covering. Coming down to them, boys. Remember we tried with that fire last evening? We were told several buildings in the area of Non Pareil there were affected by this fire. They destroyed the furniture and pillow factory. Several buildings, they tell us, right? And they said a storage barn, the three neighboring buildings were not destroyed, because of course you were dousing them with water and so on. They were also affected and scorched and so on by this blaze. And one Muhammad Asad Ali, right, who owned a single 3-story building that housed this pillow factory, this pillow business rather, and furniture store, and a residence as well. I'm being made to understand that 22 Block 12, Non Pareil, they are counting their losses. And they tell us that that fire itself got started on something relating to that very pillow business there, something related to that very pillow business. An electrical problem of sorts was the contributor to this fire here at Non Pareil. But where there's light, there's hope, and we can work and get back whatever we have lost, I'm so grateful that there was no loss of life. I'm so grateful for that, and I want to say thanks to the Ghana Fire Service for the work that they did there. I didn't get any negative reports. Didn't see any negative reports. They showed up late or what have you. So congrats to the Ghana Police Force, and our thoughts and prayers with the folks who would have lost, the business and home and dwelling place and all of that. Course of this fire. Our thoughts and our prayers with them. Where do we go next, folks? For your information, the Public Procurement Commission is interesting. Had a training program for procuring entities, right? And they said this is part of their ongoing public awareness campaign, and that's all well and good, But when you think about companies like Tupoi and so on, like they miss this kind of training, the companies who really need the training, those companies who register yesterday and then pulling down multi-billion-dollar contracts, right? Who in passing none of the criteria to be bestowed with one of these contract awards. That's the kind of training. And those who are supposed to get X and they get Y and they got Z and B and so on, they're meeting the criteria. Like we're missing some of those folks. They said they were training, procuring entities. Maybe that training coming up. Or maybe it passed and we missed it. For the Tupuis of this world. Maybe we missed it. The birdness of this world. Maybe we missed those training programs. Maybe we missed it, folks. There's some things we're covering. Maybe we missed it. We don't catch everything. Sometimes they try to make you something in this place. They try to make you something in this country. if you don't know yourself, you gotta acknowledge that, right? We're big. We ain't stupid. We're still looking good. We're big. The maths beating them. The maths and the English beating them. They said they will have new appraisal. Your boy Saddam Hussein, right? Saddam is going good until he sit down and then he's pulling new appraisal instruments for school, right? That ensures that teachers' performance are strictly monitored and evaluated, among other things. And all of this is aiming to bring up the scores. You hear them talking about teaching math in the mornings. I can understand it, sometimes when you're more fresh, you absorb better. And if you don't know yourself, and where in your day your energy lies and your focus, you got to know that. So our own simple rationalization here, that maybe that is it. They figure the children are going to be more fresh to handle the numbers and so on in the morning, early in the morning. Look, lots of us did math. Some more adept than others. Alvin, when last you used the Pythagoras theorem, right? Iban, when last you used your simultaneous equation formula, girl? Sorry about that. When last you used your simultaneous equation? Do tell. Audrey Brown, Vashti Magnat, Marcel, when last you used pi? When last you used it? I used to remember the Pythagoras theorem by heart. The square roots of something, the hypotenuse on the one side reflect over and fall down. Something like that, Brenda Bailey. When last you do a simultaneous equation, when you do on one side, you got to do on the next side, you take it, what's say? When last, Gil Alicock, Enid McGiddens, But our young people got to go, Vashti Magnat say, eat my pie today. It's the other pie, Vashti. When last you use your pie? Vashti say, eat my pie today. When last, you have to do a long division. When last you do a long division to come to a conclusion? Or when done, when last? New instruments. Taking nothing from our kids. They got to pass the way before, that way as well. I don't know why they gotta pass away, but they gotta pass away. If they said they gotta pass away, they gotta learn the simultaneous equations, they gotta learn to pi all the square roots of the obtuse angles and so on. They gotta learn it. That being said, folks, heading on, heading on. Y'all watch y'all boy here. Watch y'all, but he's going good, good, good. He is going good, good, good. Look, I didn't plan to say this here, but I saw a story today where a young man in third form wrote 12 subjects, 8 ones, I think a couple of grade 2s in there. Our kids, if they got the capacity, folks, let's unleash them. Give them the enabling environment, the tools, the resources, and unleash them. If you in third form and you done, as I saw somebody said, you done knocking down 12 subjects, what if your form got for you? What if your form got how it looks now, young people? Fired up, not fighting each other in the street, killing each other, stabbing each other, envious and backstabbing, literally backstabbing. Third form, and this guy licked down 12 subjects like nothing. 8 ones. Fantastic work. This is how we want to see our children challenged. This is how we want to see the energies directed. I'm trying to remember his name now, but kudos to him. He's fired up, ready to go. Let's come off this guy. Little too loud. When we really get the sense of the thing, blah blah blah. We really get ahead. We even know where to categorize it. Them boys catching bullets now. Robeson catching bullet now. So strides are being made. Right? In forensic, I'm happy. Once positive strides are being made, we for that. Them guys get bullet trapped now. This matrix, this thing is teaching you how to, you know the matrix used to do it? Huh? You know them boys used to do it in the matrix? 50 BMG, bullet trap. Yes, this is matrix stuff here. Catching bullets up. Matrix things here. Y'all don't them to the people think. Don't do it. This is the stuff legends are made of, folks. And that's what they're telling us. State of the art equipment, right? State of the art equipment expected to significantly improve the GPF's, the Ghana Police Force, ability to test firearms recovered from crime scene. Yeah. Improve their ability to test fire. We gonna go by the ocean and pow, pow, pow. Right? The thing catching the bullet for we. That's what they said. It's going to improve our capabilities, and we're all for that. We're all for that. The bullet trap, folks. The bullet trap. Thank you very much to the Ghana Police Force. You see, when we see things happening, we don't mind giving a couple kudos. Right? But we can get in distracted from the high level of corruption, and then making the police force as well. What trap you got for that? Huh? Where the corruption trap then? Congrats on the bullet trap. If it helps us to solve crimes and so on, ballistic testing and so on, fairly well. Fairly well. Where the corruption trap? That's what I want to know. Where the corruption trap? Where there? Many of them boys. I never. Who sharing the life? I never them. PP said they got good water coming. They got a good water in that side. Good water coming to Georgetown. This is like pulling teeth with GWI, right? Anything working in this country, anything working, I hope them teeth for the bullet trap. Let me just throw the one in quick. I hope them teeth for the bullet trap, right? You can get some high profile thing, and when they arrive to tests and so on, you hear the bullet trap are working. Piece fall off, the door missing, it can calibrate. I hope we know what we're doing. Better water quality. The public have been profuse in their criticism of Sheikh Bash, Irfan Ali, Barjak, the whole pack of them. With a mobby that coming through your tap, and that's to give mobby a bad name. At least you can drink the mobby. But this thing here is trying to kill us. They tell us they can Now it's not them. Remember that it says is what turbidity. Now they say they're replacing age transmission. Oh Jesus. I want y'all to know we in a bad way. We in a bad way because GWI getting like GPL now. It's all these fancy excuses. From turbidity, they gone to now transmission line age, transmission lines. They're replacing them. It's no longer grums in the system. It's lines they're replacing. And so Georgetown citizens are to expect more water woes than the ones you're already having. More water woes. But all of this bad water or no water, is allowed to have better water later on. Yep. And that's beyond water and so on. Color the water. Look, story here now. So the water sector in trouble. Right? This is not Timbuktu. We're not asking you to run a pipe to Deep South, and now you're one of them places. At you Weber, someplace like we're not asking you all of that. Right? It's a run a pipe right from the corner. You could turn on a pipe outside GWI gate, you won't get proper water. We're in a bad way. And no sooner that is done. Good folks, Gaisuko, the government of Guyana, Cute Zulfi, Barjagno, they want to tell us that packaged sugar in plastic bag is packaged sugar too. Sugar in plain plastic bag, right? Without any fancy writing and color and so on. That's packaged sugar too. But they're trying to tell their fancy bag packaged sugar is available. I haven't seen one of that in weeks. As a matter of fact, there's a prized possession now that could fetch more than an ounce of gold. You get 1 pound of sugar. You got scarce commodity. You're only finding fancy plastic sugar on the black market in this country now. A man asking you to meet you in the back alley, by a side house in the back room, and room pitch darkness, you got light a match and they say, hey. And then you got a tester. You got a little beacon so on to make sure it's the right grade and so on. This is where we are in this country. They say there's no shortage. But you know the last year you didn't acknowledge was a shortage student. People lining up, sugar ration on the shelf. They tell you take 1 pack and they say, no shortage, no shortage. We see this. This is like May and Vikram. Now we get Chung and Thunderbolt. Says the rain. No shortage. You try in 15 supermarkets, you can't get half pound of packaged sugar. And they come out with this spin. No shortage, despite they said reports carried in some sections of the media. No shortage of packaged sugar. This is foolishness. This is spin. This is propaganda of the highest order from the government. Fed up with the whole pack of them. Fed up, folks. Fed up. Fully. Not even partially. Fully. Yeah, boy, run out. It's Thursday. You gotta say something. Right? Even if it's 2 hours of nothing, you run out. Corrector, Apnu, trying to sabotage. Right? Why they blaming Lyte? Lyte is we boy. Why they blaming Lyte? That's we come out to say in the press. Y'all know them, set the jagabats and transcripts. That polls and cricketers. Don't like none of them. He ran out today. Right? Lion Jack Leo. Opposition attempting to sabotage teachers' agreement. Look, I haven't seen one person on social media. I want them to get one person. You know who didn't get? Hot dog for cash grant. They say he liked the deal. I want them to get one teacher that said this is a nice deal. Get one. Oh. Right? Then get bumped to pace from Leguana or wherever it is. Hot dog for cash grant. Right? Hot dog for cash grant. They said they like this deal. I ain't seen one teacher yet. It's only Jagger them talking. It's like a two-show conference. Two-show. Jagger's not two-show. Why are you talking? Everyone's not two-show. Why are you talking? They're talking on the two shows. They're talking on the teacher. I want to hear from the teachers. That's a good deal. Me what the government tell me is a good deal. If me pocket and hurting, it's a good deal for me. Their pocket and hurting. I want to hear from the teachers. Well, folks, people have been unsparing. For the president of the Guarantee Teachers Union, right? Let me take you all back to some what Coretta McDonald, the general secretary, said just yesterday. Take a look, folks. Take a listen.
General Secretary of the Guyana Teachers Union, Coretta McDonald, has said that she, like most people, is at a loss over the signing of the agreement that ended the strike by the teachers.
There was no indication from any side or at any point that we were going to be signing an agreement today. Last week we met and we rejected the 10% that was offered officially at the table. I know there was some back arrangement, some back phone call, something, where 10% was offered.
She said that she questioned the out of meeting calls.
Because these outside of meeting calls seem to be putting us in lots and lots of issues, creating lots of issues for us. And so I said, why is it, we sit at the table officially. Outside of the meeting is not official. So if calls are made, the calls should be made during the meetings.
GTU rejected the same offer when it was made at the table last Wednesday, according to Donald. She said that the General Council meeting was hurriedly called. There should have been a 7-day notice. This wasn't the case. Instead, there was some trickery, she claimed. This saw a preparation of the agreement that was to have been signed.
Where the president there sat there and took general counsel down a path that did not reflect what was actually being discussed at those meetings. There are still many, many issues coming out of our proposal that have not been directly addressed. I can say to you today is a sad day in the life of the GTU, in the lives of our teachers across this country. It is sad in the faces, and it's a slap in the faces of so many men and women who stood their ground for this union, which is over 153 years old.
Ms. McDonald said that the union was divided. The president, Mark Lyte, took it upon himself to sign, she said. He expressed disappointment on behalf of the teachers on the Essequibo Coast, where most of the victimization took place.
I am disappointed and saddened for our teachers in Kokwani, in Regions 1, in Regions 9 and Regions 8. I know my brother from Region 7, from Barticle, representing Region 7. He was there championing the cause for the teachers there, Upper Mars, the teachers who live in those areas and have to be spending huge sums of monies. And here it is, you're taking 10% without even recognizing what inflation is.
She said that most of the announced allowances wouldn't benefit all the teachers. The only across-the-board benefit rests in the salaries and allowances.
And even with the clothing allowance, our children were given $45,000 and teachers are being given $15,000. But you expect teachers to dress moderately and to dress like teachers. But here it is, you're giving them $15,000 to get themselves ready for school. We spoke about a risk allowance, a $10,000 for a health risk allowance. And you know what the ministry did? The ministry said they cannot afford that $10,000 for teachers. So today, Mark Lyte, Julian Cambridge, and a few others, they have sold the teachers of Guyana out.
Yep. That is what the General Secretary of the Guarantee Teachers Union, Coretta McDonald, said. And because production manager said Coretta is trying to undermine the deal, the sweetheart deal that the government got. She's trying to undermine it. Then he joined from that. He got away to show conference. He says, see this boy here from Keiko? You see this one, Vincent Henry? You see this one here, what's his name? Mr. Hastings from Keiko. From Mario Hastings, this one. Their voices must not eclipse other Indigenous leaders. And deciding out, he said, oh, anybody can criticize. Any two shout can criticize us. Fist mouth, big head, Jack Dio. Anybody can criticize us. Anybody. Then on the other side, he said, no singular voice must eclipse those we put in there. Our boys in there, their voices must not eclipse them. Folks, as I said before, I want to hear from Jagdio them. I want to hear them. I want to see them. I want to hear from the two shows. It's a national two shows council conference. Right? But this whole confabulation is about bringing out the indigenous leaders for them to be lectured to by Jagdio and Co. To be lectured to by them. Right? We spoke with Vincent Henry, Member of Parliament, Indigenous, brother from another mother. Yesterday we spoke with him. He just went in there because the Amerindian Act says Amerindians can go to the National Two Shows Conference. Why are they denying him? Right? I see the AG says something to the effect like the any and the all sorts will not be allowed. The custodian of the Constitution and the laws in this country, as he dubs himself. Right? That's what he said. Take a listen to what Vincent told us recently. Some of what he told us recently. This is the Honorable Member of Parliament, Vincent Henry.
Member of Parliament Vincent Henry was evicted from the annual Toshaws conference that ends today. The conference is being held at the Arthur Chung Conference Center. Before the conference, according to Henry, there was a concerted effort by the PPP to ensure that those the party wanted to be Toshaws were in place.
So they campaigned rigorously. They spent a lot of resources, financially and otherwise, to get their people into the Tushaw's positions in their communities. But unfortunately for them, in many instances, the people spoke otherwise, and many of their candidates that they had put forward were not elected to Tushaw's position.
He said that another issue is the approach of the indigenous people who were seen as the balance of power in the elections. He said that he went to the conference as a member of parliament and one who represents the people of the hinterland. He's also indigenous.
The Amerindian Act distinctly says that Amerindians are welcome to attend those meetings.
At the session, the minister was addressing natural issues. Henry is a member of the Parliamentary Sectoral Committee.
I went there and I registered at the front desk, and I was given a tag, and I signed my name, and I was told where to go and sit, and I went up, and I didn't look around to see who were there with, I just walked to the place where I was told to go, and I sat. And when I looked around, I was in the company of ministers of the current government.
His presence took the ministers by surprise, he said. He sat through the presentation from the floor and was there until the time for questions.
Once the questions began, someone came and told me that I was wanted outside. A friend is waiting for me outside. In fact, another MP with an urgent matter, and I should go and meet with him. I immediately suspected that they were trying to get me out of the Arthur Chung Conference.
It turned out that the friend who was also a member of parliament was never in the vicinity of the conference center. Things got worse. A staff member informed him that he was an imposter and shouldn't be in the conference center. He said he refused to move. Then things got restive after the minister said that he wanted to meet with certain communities. Other representatives of the forum said that they too had problems and demanded a meeting.
After the Chinese landing issue was raised, they stopped the proceedings. I saw them whispering, and I know they were planning something. They stopped it, and then the police came and asked me to leave. And I told the police that if there is a problem, let's discuss it here. He said no, he wanted me outside. Well, the law is a law. We have to obey. I explained to him who I am and thing. He said, well, he is not there for that. He has been instructed to get me out of the facility.
Henry said that the forum presented many problems. He said that the government wanted to say at the end of the conference that everything was well.
There are multiple problems out there. And this government, I am sure, they do not really want to solve those problems. So it will be upon our shoulders to ensure that those problems are solved. It will be on our shoulders to make sure that the Amerindian Act is revised. It will be on our shoulder to make sure that land titling is completed. It will be on our shoulder to make lives become the lives of the indigenous and the hinterland people and Guyanese as a whole become better.
apologies there. Some kids went to a camp in Enterprise that has raised a lot of eyebrows. Brothers and sisters, a lot of eyebrows have been raised. Yep. Part of the camp is a painting exercise. Sorry, an indoctrination exercise. I mean a painting. I mean an indoctrination exercise. It's part of this youth camp. What are they painting, folks? Oh, we won't let these children grow and in their own deliberate judgment. If we could try to indoctrinate kids so young, imagine the two shows there. In their own deliberate judgment. Why do we have kids involved in politics in this way? We campaign the kite show fall, the water lily, we campaign the eagle. This is what we got to do. Photo of the day, photo of the day. This is the future here, you know. Our children, but we got to safeguard them as far as possible, folks. As far as possible. That being said, those are some of the things we're watching tonight. Some of the things we're watching, folks. That's going to do it for us at this end. Share the live as you go, folks. Smash that emoji button. You've come back to watch us too. Do the same. Share the live, smash that emoji button. That's going to do it for us this evening. That's our time, good folks. And that's our program. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. So good to see you here. Christopher, Chichester, Gail, and Asher, Heaven, Faith, Sarah. I see Tracy, Lucille, and Lester, Maxine, Donna. All you lovely folks have a great evening. That's our time, folks. That's our program. Sia, Perez, and Lester, Ibon, Michelle, Diane, Christopher, Carlton, and all the other folks. Have a great evening. Take care.